Hi everyone, welcome back to Sol-Ark's channel. Today we're going to discuss the installation of our 20 kilowatt hour ESP battery system. What we need is 4 ESP batteries, which we have right here, 5100 kilowatt hours. We need 3 pairs of negative wires and 3 pairs of positive wires to interconnect the batteries. And we also need 3 pairs of Cat 5 cables to communicate among the batteries. Lastly, we need 2 long cables to connect from the battery to the Sol-Ark and 1 cable to communicate from the battery to the Sol-Ark itself. These can be installed through a hole right here at the bottom. It's a very nice and easy installation. So let's go through the whole wiring process. And as you can see, there are some holes that we are going to use to screw these batteries down. There we go. So as you can see, we've now put all 4 batteries in, and we have the master battery up here at the top, so that we're going to use these 2 connections, the positive and negative, to connect these 2 cables to go all the way to the Sol-Ark. But first, we need to connect all the batteries themselves. We're going to start with the negative wires, and we're going to connect all the negatives together, essentially, because we want these batteries to be in parallel. We do not want to connect these batteries in series. Since these batteries are already 48 volts, if we connected them in series, we would be adding up the voltages, so 48 plus 48 plus 48 plus 48, and we don't want that. We want the whole total to be just 48 volts. Here, so negative to negative. Now, so it goes negative to negative, negative to negative, and we're going to have one last negative to negative before it goes from this negative all the way to the Sol-Ark. Let's get that last connection going. So negative to negative, and we're going to do one last little connection, and there we go. So that is essentially just the connections for the negative cables. Let's do the positives. Okay, so we have positive to positive. We have positive to positive up here. Make sure that's nice and tight. All right, positive up here. We need one last final positive connection right here. All right, and that leaves one last final terminal open. All right, so now we've finished all the cable connections among the batteries. It goes positive, 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 and positive to the Sol-Ark. Okay? Negative follows the same exact pattern. So negative to negative, negative to negative, negative to negative, and negative to the negative on the Sol-Ark. Now, we still have to connect our little communication cables. As you can see, there are these 3 ports. One says inverter and the other 2 do not. We're going to connect the ones that do not say inverter together, just like how we connected the battery cables. Right there. One last one goes from right here to down here. Right. And then we have our long cable. Right here, this long communications cable, it goes from right here out the hole, and it's going to go into the Sol-Ark. This one is going to go into the port that says inverter. Okay? There we go. So we go ahead and take some of that slack out. A very important aspect of the installation are these dip switches right here. Okay, each battery has dip switches, and these essentially tell the battery which one is the master and which ones are the slaves. Now, I'm going to show on the screen essentially which dip switches need to be turned on for which batteries. Of course, we would like to take some time and make this cabling a little bit prettier, but for the sake of this video, we are just going to go ahead and run through it. and make the connections to the Sol-Ark. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on all 4 batteries by just turning on the battery on button down here. Now that all the batteries are turned on and we have the connections right here, and we turn on our battery breaker, and we connected the communications cable right here to the battery CAN bus port, we have power to the Sol-Ark. Okay, so now we want to make sure that we go to the battery setup after settings, and that we ensure that these values, the battery capacity, the max A charge, and the max A discharge, are correct. We also want to ensure we select battery percentage mode, and you want to ensure that BMS lithium Batt is selected. You want to make sure it's selected, and you want to ensure that the address is 00. You also want to make sure that activate battery is on, and after making any changes, you want to ensure you press OK. So then lastly, you see this LiBat info screen, which shows essentially the communications between the battery and the Sol-Ark inverter. That's it for this video showing your installation of a 20 kilowatt hour ESP battery system with a Sol-Ark 12K. Hope this helped, and if you have any questions, reach out to us at support@solark.com or sales@sol-ark.com. Thank you for your time.